I never expected to witness courage in the courtroom that day. I had come to watch a trial that seemed beyond hope. My boss, a millionaire, was fighting a case that could ruin everything. The tension in the room was suffocating, and I kept my hands folded tightly, trying not to draw attention. Then it happened. The lawyer, someone we all relied on, abruptly stood, muttered something about unmanageable circumstances, and walked out, leaving us stunned. The room went silent. My boss froze, eyes wide, disbelief written across his face. I felt panic rising around me like heat from a fire. "What now?" whispered someone nearby. But I couldn't stop myself. Something inside me whispered that I could help, even though I wasn't trained for this. I had been a janitor at the firm for years. I swept floors, emptied trash, and cleaned windows, but I had watched hundreds of cases unfold from the sidelines. I knew the arguments, the evidence, the procedures, and now the chance, or perhaps the responsibility, was staring me in the face. "Mark," my boss said, voice shaking, "we need someone in here. Can you?" His question hung unfinished. I swallowed hard, feeling both fear and an odd surge of determination. "I'll try," I whispered, almost to myself. The judge looked incredulous as I stepped forward. Are you qualified?" he asked. I shook my head. "No, sir. But I know this case. I've observed every detail. I can help him present the facts accurately." I took a deep breath, scanning the room, my heart pounding. The opposing counsel smirked, clearly expecting a disaster. I reminded myself, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite it. I began presenting evidence, carefully quoting statements, connecting dots I had seen in the files we cleaned, recalling every detail from the notes my boss had left. Every word felt heavy, but I kept my voice steady. The courtroom was leaning forward now, disbelief giving way to attention. The opposing lawyer sneered, attempting to intimidate me, but I stood firm. "You can try to twist the facts," I said, "but the truth doesn't bend to fear or wealth." My words echoed in the hushed courtroom. Witnesses were called, and I guided them through the sequence of events, asking precise questions, often repeating things I had memorized from the case files I had dusted off countless times. Each answer seemed to strengthen our position. I could see my boss gripping the edge of the chair, tears glimmering in his eyes. He had lost hope moments ago, and now, watching me stand there, he saw that sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places. Hours passed, the tension building to a crescendo. My voice faltered only a few times, but I corrected myself, and slowly, the tide seemed to turn. Jurors were scribbling notes, leaning in, listening. This was no longer a lost cause. Finally, the moment arrived. The verdict was read. Our side had won. The room erupted, and my boss's face lit up with disbelief and gratitude. He hugged me as if I were family. "You saved us," he whispered. I only shook my head, exhausted but proud. Outside the courtroom, reporters swarmed, cameras flashing. "Who is this man?" they asked. I simply smiled, letting my silence speak volumes. I had done what I could, not for fame, but because I believed in truth and kindness. Later, my boss approached me in private. "You've shown me something I'll never forget. Courage isn't reserved for titles or degrees, it's in the heart." I nodded, realizing he was right. That night, I sat alone, reflecting on what had happened. The janitor, someone who swept floors and cleaned offices, had stood for justice when it mattered most. I thought about my life, my purpose, and how small acts of attention and care had prepared me for this extraordinary moment. I learned something important that day. Sometimes, life gives you a chance to rise, to act with integrity, even when no one believes in you. And when you do, the impact can be greater than you ever imagined. In the end, it wasn't about wealth, titles, or appearances. It was about courage, kindness, and showing up when it mattered most. And that lesson stayed with everyone who witnessed it. The janitor who became the unlikely hero of the trial.